Hello, my name's Sam Emmett. I am sometimes also known as the Lazy Lecturer. And this is a webinar, or the presentation of a webinar that we produced earlier this morning on confidence, communicate and connect. Okay, so this is the first of a series of 5 webinars that we're planning, which will focus on well-being. The aim of these webinars, presentations or ramblings is to help you recognise what well-being is and how to enhance and strengthen your own personal well-being. These are aimed at people who are isolated at home, and this is beginning to affect people's well-being, but it's also for everybody. It's something that I said that I would do for some friends of mine in Hillcrest Surgery in Wrexham, but it's for everybody. And also, if you're somebody who might want to help and support somebody else with their well-being, then these could be helpful. So please share them as much as you want. Okay, so in this one we're going to be looking at confidence, focusing on the role of communication in supporting and enhancing confidence, then move on to connecting. And to connect is one of the 5 steps of well-being. I'll come to those right at the end. With others, and discover activities and simple things that we can all do to connect with each other and therefore to enhance our own personal well-being and or the well-being of others. Okay, so this is where this is the house rules for the webinar. We were doing this on YouTube, and we will be live on YouTube on Wednesday mornings at 10 o'clock for the next 4 weeks or so, maybe further or more. And so we have some simple house rules there, so we'll worry too much about those. Confidence. So what do we mean by confidence? Well, if you just think about it for a minute, we could all construct a different definition. But if we went along something along the lines of confidence is just the ability to believe in yourself and your own abilities. So it is, have faith in yourself, really. There's a lot more, but that's not bad. And what is self-esteem? Well, think about it for a minute. We'll all come up with something different. But according to the NHS, who are heroes, or everybody's heroes at the moment, and all times, the opinion we have of ourselves, when we have self-esteem, we tend to feel positive about ourselves and about life in general. So positive is interesting because positive is a definite feeling, and we can see positivity sometimes in others, and we can also feel negative or positive in ourselves. So feeling positive is the key. Okay, self-esteem and confidence are linked. Important factors in one will affect and interact with the other one. So if we're confident, our self-esteem is likely to be higher, and if we have good self-esteem, it can help our confidence be higher. So recognizing these two. So I'm going to break them down a little bit and look at, what is a confident person? What are the characteristics or some of the characteristics of a confident person? And is there value in appearing to be confident when you might not actually be? Okay, so the characteristics, these are certain traits that we'll see from people who are confident. They tend not to be aggressive. They tend to have poise. They tend to stand correctly or sit upright. And actually, when you sit upright, you feel more outgoing and a little bit more stronger. When we slouch, we start feeling ooh. Okay, stable and clear voice. Well, people who are confident tend to be clear, stable. We understand what they're saying. The people who aren't confident have a lot of ooh, and I don't know, and all those self-doubt things. Okay, confident people speak from the heart. Sometimes you're just going to say what really matters to you. It's how you say it that matters. Let's have a look at modest. Confident people are modest. The people who can be overconfident, who think that they are overpowering, is not the same overconfident is not the same as confident. Confident people tend to be quite modest. They're happier in themselves. Not afraid to ask for help. Actually, this is really quite an important thing. Yeah, people who are confident aren't worried about asking for help. Those people who aren't confident won't necessarily ask for help, which is a real problem because we all need help. Nobody can get through everything on their own. Eye contact. It's a little bit harder today because now I just remembered that, so I'm going to look at the camera for a couple of seconds. When we're doing these webcam type things, the cameras can be all over the place. But eye contact, look the person you're talking to, look them in the eye. Listens, and when I say listens, I mean really listen. It's really important to actively listen, to really listen to what somebody's saying and to think about what they're saying, to not just wait to speak. It's to listen so that you're going to act upon that. So we call it active listening, to really focus on what the other person is saying. Expresses gratitude. People who are confident say, "Oh, thank you very much, that was really nice." And they acknowledge others. We tend to sort of say, "Oh, well, we accept that other people are helpful and useful, so we acknowledge that, but we also recognize that other people are there, so we acknowledge other people's views, other people's opinions, because we don't all have the same thing. So somebody can have an opinion which is different to yours. Apologizes when in the wrong. Overconfident people don't tend to apologize. "Oh no, I'm right. But actually, we all get things wrong. And if you do what I do for long enough, which is teaching, you're going to make so many errors. It's unbelievable. Be honest. Admit when you make a mistake. We all make mistakes. Okay. And there are a load more characteristics of confidence. Let's have a look at some characteristics of self-esteem. People who have high self-esteem tend to enjoy finding fulfillment. Yeah, well, that's quite nice. Does make you feel good. They appreciate themselves and others. So, yeah, they are, well, I appreciate what I can do, and I appreciate the things that make me happy and myself. But I also appreciate other people's opinions and other people's ideas. Speak from the heart. Well, once again, people who have self-esteem have the confidence, and these two things come together. Speaking from the heart, say what you really mean. Say what you say, how you say it. Respect others. It's quite simple. It's a characteristic that tends to go with people with high self-esteem. Can see the world in realistic terms. Well, sometimes it is not our fault. Sometimes that is what it is. We just have to accept that is the way of things. So many people can't do this that it really gets a little bit problematical. But try to think of the world in realistic terms. Comfortable making their own decisions. It sounds quite simple, but actually people with low self-esteem have trouble making decisions. They worry about things rather than, well, let's have a go. Give it a try. The important thing to remember is not everything's going to work. Some things are going to go wrong. Don't worry about it. Make the decision. Make the choice. Am I going to do this today? Yeah, let's give it a go. Will I go on holiday next year? No, I need to earn a bit more money first, but yes, I think so. I think I'd like to go abroad. Maybe Italy. Right. People with good self-esteem tend to have higher concentration, and that's really useful. We need to be able to concentrate to achieve quite a lot of things. And the ability to problem solve. If you've got self-esteem, then you're willing to give it a go. If you don't have it, then you fear a failure, so you won't necessarily solve the problem. So, and the ability to share opinions with others. Now, that's a really great thing about self-esteem, is that we have opinions, but sometimes we're scared that those opinions won't be accepted by other people or won't be respected. Well, you got to share them. But just realize that other people's opinions may be different to yours. We don't all see things the same way. There can be multiple views of the same thing, and they can all be right, both be right. So be able to share them is a sign of self-esteem. and people with self-esteem tend to make a constructive difference in other people's lives. Now, if we can all do that, it's all going to help our own self-esteem. So there's a nice one to have a look at trying to get hold of. Right, so how are self-esteem and confidence damaged? Well, to a certain extent, they're damaged by any of those constructs, any of those characteristics not being there or being reduced. But there are some other things that will constantly hit self-esteem and confidence, and there are loads more than I can talk about. You can find people who know a lot more than me. So, people with low self-esteem or confidence, or self-esteem and confidence, can be damaged by when you don't believe others who compliment them. So, if somebody pays you a compliment, if you don't, not believing that will damage yourself. If you're the kind of person that won't accept compliments, your self-esteem and confidence are going to damage, and you will be the one damaging them. Blame themselves when things go wrong. So if you blame yourself when something goes wrong, then your self-esteem and confidence are going to be damaged. Sometimes things go wrong, but there's no necessarily you have to blame yourself. These things happen. But sometimes it is not your fault. Sometimes it really is something else. And recognizing that when things go wrong, it's not always us. Poor academic achievement. Yeah, now, this is something that can affect a lot of people a long way through their life and carry on affecting them. And it manifests itself in a different ways, and we'll see that in a minute. But self-esteem and confidence can be damaged because you think you have poor academic achievement. Negative words to describe yourself. If you describe yourself in negative terms, oh, I'm a bit old, I'm a bit fat, I'm slow, you tend to start pushing yourself into a negative way of thinking, rather than, I'm not as quick as I used to be, but I'm still pretty sprite. Or, I can be quite happy. I am quite happy. The weather's nice. And today the weather is really nice, and I'm sat in a shed doing strange recordings. So, try to use positive words. Look for something positive to say. There nearly always is something, like, I'm going bald. That's not good. I've still got quite a lot of hair. That's nice. Well, it's nice if you're like me. It's not so nice if you're a barber, I suppose. Well, I suppose it is, because I make money cutting my hair, except I won't let them. Poor self-image. We tend to put ourselves down. We don't think that we're good enough. And self-image will instantly damage your esteem and confidence. What else have we got in here? An unhappy childhood. Yep, unhappy childhood will carry on, because you don't get away from your memories. They're always going to be there, and that will constantly drain some of your confidence and your self-esteem. Critical of yourself. So if you're overcritical of yourself, you will damage your own esteem and self-confidence, just like negative words and the compliments thing. Stress. The world we live in is quite stressful. Everybody, I think, has a lot more stressful life than we may have had 10, 20 years ago. The world is stressful. There are loads of people, single parents, bringing up children on their own. And in this current lockdown, I'd hate to think of how hard that is. And that's going to put stress onto people, and stress will damage your self-confidence and self-esteem and confidence. You people downplay your own success, same as the others on that side. You consider yourself to be inferior. As soon as we consider ourselves to be inferior, less than somebody else, then that will damage our self-esteem and confidence. And we assume luck plays a role in success, and therefore do not credit ourselves. Doing this will lower your confidence. People who are damaging their self-esteem and confidence, or have low confidence, tend not to think that they've succeeded, that it was just luck. Well, actually, no. Quite often it is you. It's just you just need to see it. You need to just open your eyes. And the real one is not knowing how confidence works. If you don't know what the whole thing looks like, you're never going to be able to put it together. So if you don't know, if you're doing a jigsaw puzzle, but you don't know what the finished jigsaw puzzle looks like, it's going to be really hard to do it. So the art is to know what confidence looks like. Well, he clips back. Oh, hang on a minute. These are some of the characteristics of confidence. And you could write down a bigger list. You could actually go and Google on the internet, what makes somebody a confident person. If you know what they are, it becomes easier to have a go of them. So, eye contact. Well, okay. Make sure you make eye contact. By knowing what makes a confident person, then you have a chance of becoming confident, which will do your self-esteem and your self-worth a load of benefits. Right, catch up with this button pressing. Feelings, well, they go into it as well. How we feel about something affects what happens. It's a very simple thing, and we all know this, but if we feel negative about something, then that will often go with poor confidence and low self-esteem. We put ourselves down, then it will make ourselves go down. If we start off with these negative words, it will start giving us a negative feeling, and it's going to lead to low confidence, poor confidence, and low self-esteem. Feel good about something that goes well, then that will help our confidence and self-esteem. How we feel will impact on both of these. So, we want to try to feel good about things. So even if it's only a little thing, then you have something to feel good about, then you can build from that. Okay, here we go. Quite often. Quite obvious, not often, sorry, my words there. So, increasing confidence will increase self-esteem. Vice versa, increasing self-esteem will increase confidence. So, if increasing confidence isn't quite working, then try to increase your self-esteem, because then it will increase the confidence. And now what I'm going to suggest here is appearing to be confident can also increase confidence. We'll come back to this. If you know the rules of what confidence is and what a confident person is, then you can then start doing it. So, appearing to be confident. Okay, I'll do 2 steps that I don't normally do. I will make sure I have eye contact, and I will have a good poise. I'll stand upright, or I'll sit properly, and I feel more. Oh, yes. And I'll also listen, and I'll ask questions, because that means that I'm actively listening. Now, I just picked those 3 things. Everything else might still be not quite working yet, but those 3 things mean I have a little bit of success. Woo. Once you have a little bit of a success, you've got something to build on. So, step by step. Don't worry about the whole thing. Being confident is the whole jigsaw, but every time you put one piece in it, you're one piece better off. If you've got a 500-piece jigsaw, it'll only take 500 days, if you're anything like me. Right. Okay. In a webinar, I always have to go and have a cup of coffee. Sometimes you should have decaf or whatever. It can be whatever you think, and a piece of cake, but we haven't got time for that because I'm recording, and it would be boring for you to watch me drinking coffee and eating cake. So we're now going to move on to communication. What I'm going to do is link this confidence to communication to connecting. Communication impacts on our ability to connect and interact with others. We tend to interact through others, understand what people want through communication, body communication, verbal communication, written communication. It's how, as human beings, we understand and relate to each other. And effective communication skills increase our ability to be heard and understood. They can also bolster confidence and self-esteem by empowering us to speak out and to engage with others. So therefore, if we develop and enhance our communication skills, then by investing in ourselves, we are also strengthening our own confidence and self-esteem. Now, there's more to confidence and self-esteem than communication. This is one part that we're going to look at. There's like loads more in future sessions, and then there are medical practitioners who will do way more than I can. I'm just a tutor, teacher, coming up with some different approaches. So, let's look at communication skills. What communication skills can increase self-confidence? What are the benefits of being able to listen to others? One of the benefits of being able to express our own ideas and opinions. Well, what communications can increase self-confidence? Well, actually, all communication skills can improve self-confidence because They are helping you communicate and interact with somebody else. And those connections will start helping you feel more confident about yourself. If you're isolated, you're on your own, but once you're communicating, you're with somebody. So, yep, I would say that all communication skills work to help self-confidence. What are the benefits of being able to listen to others? Well, the benefit of being able to listen to others is it will help you understand other people. It will help you see that we're different. It will help you learn. It will help you understand. And it will also help you to communicate back. If we listen to somebody, really listen to somebody, then we will be able to ask questions for those elements we don't understand. And that is our ability to then communicate back. Our ability to speak effectively comes down to our ability to really listen to what other people are saying. And are there benefits of being able to express your own ideas and opinions to others? Well, you bet your bottom dollar. It allows you to put your stuff out in the open. It allows you to really express yourself and be yourself. And it gets these things off your chest. But it also, you just have to remember that not everybody's going to have the same idea of opinion as you. Once you realise that, it's a lot easier to express them. Okay, communication, some of the basics. Engage with others. Practice active listening. Really listen to something. Don't just have it on in the background whilst you're doing 500 things. Stop and listen. Listen to what people are saying. Be clear about what you say, but also you won't always know if you're confusing somebody. So this is where the eye contact and understanding people and reading the body language will help. If somebody starts looking confused, you can say, "Oh, sorry, have I just become a little unclear here? Am I not making any sense?" You can then help by being clear. By then the other person can say, "Oh, actually, I don't get that." You can say it again, or you can just realise in somebody that you're not. So you can say, "Well, am I making any sense here?" Be curious. When we were young, we were curious. The whole world was a magical place that we could go and investigate. Well, actually, it still is. People have interesting things to talk about, interesting things going on. So ask them, find out, You might make a cake and somebody else makes a cake that you think is better. You go, "Oh, how did you do that? What did you do? I normally do this." "Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to give that a go." We can all make better cake. And be mindful of your body language. This poise thing that we came back to in the confidence and the eye contact. Eye contact and poise, bring you up, make you look as though you're interested in what the other person's saying. But also, they open ourselves up. So if we're sitting here, closed arms, closed legs, then we feel that it's defensive, and the other person thinks we're distant and we're separating ourselves from them. So it also makes it harder for you to break open those barriers. So be comfortable. Absolutely, that's the most important thing. Be comfortable, be happy, sit properly, look at the other person. Be careful of your body language. Have your arms open. Do move your arms about and talk with your hands. Maybe not quite as much as I do. Be careful with constantly fiddling with things because they can be off-putting. But if they do, just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I'm going to sit on my hands now." Engage with others. Again, just keep trying. And don't just speak for the sake of speaking. Sometimes when we're communicating, we get a bit nervous, so we just go battling on and on and on. But this is where it's not speaking, it's listening. Listen, be curious, and ask. And then you get a two-way dialogue, and that's what communication should be. Okay. Emotions. Well, emotions will impact on things, just like feelings. So, I'm sure we can all think of some times when positive feelings impacted on decision-making, and there are times when negative feelings impacted on decision-making. And then if you look at those, you'll think, well, actually, sometimes it's the emotion that's affecting the decision. So, I've got to get some positive feelings then. So that's what we need to do. We need to look at these positives. We need to look for the good or the successes. It could be, you made a cake and it looks awful, but it tastes nice. So hey, never mind how it looks. If it tastes good, that is a positive. There are always positives in there. Have a look for them and build on them. The more positives you get, the fewer negatives you will have. So, straight swap. Okay, I'm going to look at something called SMART, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound goals and targets. This is something that sits in action planning, but it's a really good thing to get a hold of and to start doing on a very small scale and helping other people do. Because once you have a little bit of success and you can see that success, it's a reminder that, oh, that worked. Build on it, build on it, build on it. Okay, so set yourself small targets. You might say, well, I'm going to climb Everest, but the chances of you doing that in a reasonable amount of time is unlikely unless you are some kind of expert. So set yourself small targets. Well, first of all, I'm going to have to go and get fit. So therefore, a long-term goal might be to go up to Everest, but the first-term goal is to go out and walk more. I'll walk 6 miles there in a week. Walk 12 miles in a week. Then build it up step by step by step. Achieve your targets. Set yourself a target that is achievable. You have a success once you've achieved your target, and by keeping a record of those, you'll be recording your success or your successes, and that allows you to set more targets. Slightly trickier target, then the next target, then the next target, and you're creating a record and a spiral, a stairway of your own successes, and those are going to help scaffold, support, defend, give you something to use to help maintain confidence and develop self-esteem. We'll come to those again soon, he hopes, if he remembers. Okay, connect. One of the 5 steps to well-being. I'll go through those in just a minute. And there's a nice little website there. The NHS conditions, stress, anxiety, depression, improved mental well-being. The NHS have got loads of lovely stuff to read. So, according to the NHS, good relationships are important for your mental well-being. They can help you build a sense of belonging and self-worth. They give you an opportunity to share positive experiences, and they provide emotional support and allow you to support each other. So, if we're going to connect with other people, what could we do? How do we connect with other people? Is there something you can do? Well, everybody can have a go of just creating a list of things that you could do to connect with others. I'm sure if I left you be that you'd come up with a nice list. Here's one. Watch films or a box set with someone. Hey, well, if you watch something together, you have something to talk about. You can then get, oh, what did you think of that? Oh, what did you think of that lead actor? How did they go? Did you know that was going to happen? Were you shocked by it? Gives you something to experience. You have a shared experience, and then you can talk to somebody, and that allows you to connect. Now then, that's sounds quite easy if you're in the same house. Well, yes, it is. You've got Netflix these days or whatever. But also, you could say to somebody who lives further away, hey, why don't we both watch the same box set or the same film, and then have a chat and see what we thought about it. I'll choose something this week, you choose something next week. That gives you a reason to then talk to that person, to connect with that person. Play games with someone in your home, or by using FaceTime, Hangouts or Skype. There's another part of this webinar thing that we did this morning, which I'm going to do as a separate recording, which is one of the homework helper, and it's about games, different types of games, and how you can use games to help children's learning, or adult learning, or whatever, or to keep learning. So play games with somebody in your home, or through FaceTime, or through Hangouts, which is Google's video conferencing thing, or Skype. You can play lots of games with each other, either in the home or further apart. But when you're playing, you're communicating and engaging and connecting with. It's as simple as talk to someone. If you've got someone to talk to them. Talk to them about something in a little bit more depth, maybe, than you normally do. You could message a friend. Ask how they are. Ask what they're doing. We all have friends that we fall out of contact with. I've got loads and I keep meaning to and then I don't. Well, let's just find somebody who I haven't spoken to for a while. Send them a message and ask how they are. And then in this time and age, we can talk through Skype, FaceTime, Hangouts. If you're not familiar with these kind of things, then let me know or let us know on our YouTube page, and we'll look at explaining how to get involved with some of this. Do something with somebody else, do some gardening together, even the washing up, because then you can talk and it gives you an activity that helps you connect to somebody. And once you're connecting, then the communication can come. The communication will enhance that connection. The communication, the success of the communication, is enhancing your confidence, is enhancing your self-esteem. Therefore, you're becoming a happier person, hopefully. Crumbs, this is 30 minutes. I hope you're not too bored. Right. Oh, homework. Yeah, teachers love doing this. You don't have to, but you're going to find an advantage, and I'll go through one in a minute. Set yourself a target or two to connect with others or another person. As simple as a message, an email, a phone call. Use SMART targets to construct an action plan and note that target. And this time we're just going to focus on connecting or communicating. Let me know what you've come up with in the comments. It'll be quite interesting, because sometimes somebody's idea, you go, oh, do you know what, I could have a go at that. And then we all support each other. Put your plan into action and connect with others, and then maybe let us know next week how you did. Oh, bake cake. I'm afraid it's something that people have to do. There's a reason for it, but I can't remember. I'm sure it's more than just me wanting to eat cake all the time. Okay, so that ends that slideshow. I'll just switch the screen whilst I then get the PowerPoint away, he says. You can't get the PowerPoint away now. Put that back. Close the PowerPoint. Okay, so 5 steps to well-being. We're looking at number 1, which is to connect. It's to build and maintain constructive relationships with people. It's an important part. Spending time around positive and supportive people means you're more likely to have a better self-image and be more confident. It's everything that we were talking about this, or I was talking about, hopefully you were talking or laughing at me. That these communication, speaking to somebody, will help make a difference. So, SMART targets. It's a lovely little sheet, and you can get it from getselfhelp.co.uk. Carol Vivian's permission to use for therapy purposes. Well, if you're helping yourself, then I'm sure Carol will be very happy. Specific, be clear in what you want to achieve. Consider breaking it down into smaller steps. Measurable, achievable, realistic, time limited. I'm going to move that out of the way. Take that down. Pull this back. Okay, here I've just done myself a simple action plan. You can do this in Word or enhance your digital literacy at the same time, or just do it on a piece of paper. So my target is to connect to somebody. So connect to someone, and I'm going to do this by sending a SMS text message to my brother, who I haven't seen in a very long time. Well, I haven't seen him for a while because we all live so distant, but my eldest brother I haven't spoken to for a long time, and I should do a text message to my brother to ask how he's doing. Okay, so all I have to do is, 1, learn how to type, is to send us a, hey Tom, it's been a long time, how are you doing? I mean, it's such a weird world we're living in with this lockdown. Now then, make the target specific, and if you make it specific, it will become measurable. If you can't add a simple measure to your target, go back and make your target more specific. So in this case, how will I know if I sent an SMS text message? Sent message. All I have to do is show you on my phone. Look, I sent the message. Oh, there it is. Job done. Is it achievable? Well, achievable is, can I do this? Do I have the skills in the time period? So make sure it's not too high. Make sure I'm not going to set myself up to fail. No, I'll be fine. Consider smaller goals if it's too big a goal. So if I'd set myself a target, say, to decorate the house, well, that might be a bit big for one particular target. I might say, do you know what? I might prepare the living room to be painted. I might strip the wallpaper in a particular room. Break it down into the step-by-steps and then find out if that's achievable. Is it achievable to send a message? Yes, I have the skill. I know how to do that. Oh yeah, that is achievable. If it's not achievable, then have a look at what you need to do beforehand to achieve that. Then go back and make that the target instead. Realistic? Yeah, realistic and resources. Well, yes. Yes, I have a smartphone and the phone number and can SMS. Sometimes you just need, oh, actually I can't do that yet because I don't have this. So if you were saying, well, actually I'm going to make an email, but you don't have a computer in your home, well, at the moment that's going to be a bit hard because you're going to need a computer. If you can get a computer between now and then you could do it. If not, go and set a different target. Time, well, I've said we're all going to do this within 1 week. So I've got a whole week to send one SMS. Come back at the end of the week. If I've sent it, job done. Nice, simple, achievable target. And then if I achieve it, then I will go, yay, I did that. I can build on and do something a little bit stronger. I might go and, whilst this is out, think of somebody else who I haven't spoken to in a long time and look at setting myself a target. Okay, well, that's it for this one. I hope this is making some kind of sense. Please leave a like in the comments below. And also if you subscribe, then everything that we do that's on this channel, which is going to be free, will become available to you. As well as this, there are some other videos on some digital literacy skills. Please feel free to have a look at anything you want and contact us. Thank you very much. Goodbye.